Hello, class. We are Hypothesis One. That is our group with Maddie, Emmy, Augusta, Levi, Gavin, and this is Jordan speaking. I'll be doing the presentation. So, our hypothesis is resource constraints increase opportunity cost consideration, which, in our own words, this means that things like budgets lead to consumers being more likely to consider alternative products if they are available. Um, so in my case, a person in like a constrained budget will more likely weigh pros and cons of cheaper items and the opportunity costs associated with choosing the alternative um, over their one product given a type of constraint. So in study number one, which was monthly versus weekly budgets and sequential shopping, the study featured two groups, and they had two different budgets. The study ran for 4 weeks, and they tested out this hypothesis, or they tested out how these constraints, and in relation to hypothesis one, the study agreed with hypothesis one, saying that a limited budget had greater opportunity cost consideration than the monthly group because they are more sensitive to the value of their future alternatives and their current dollar. In the study, the group with limited constrained resources had higher opportunity cost consideration within the study, so they were more sensitive to the future value of their alternatives. Study two, in a similar way, had a focus between present value and future value, and it focused on the users of tax preparation software and their spending habits. And it showed how they were affected on their future purchases from a purchase that was made in the present. In study number two, the author used an example regarding the results of an online survey dealing with housing and financial management. They used a scale 1 through 6 to measure consideration when purchasing one. 1 was strongly disagree, while 6 was strongly agree. And that was the example given. If I buy Starbucks now, will I be able to get the TV later, and vice versa? Or if I buy this Xbox PS4, will I have enough money for online gameplay games yearly? And in the same manner as study one, study two also led to demonstrate uh, support for hypothesis one. So my personal study, which was study three, which was spontaneous consideration of opportunity costs. The idea was that by merely reminding consumers that opportunity costs exist, it might lead the consumers to actually consider them. In the study design, the premise was that people were running late to a job interview and they had the option to buy breakfast. They forgot their card, and in their wallet that they either had two $5 bills or two $20 bills. They then were given the option to buy food for breakfast or save some of that money for something else, whatever that may be. The results showed that the people who had two $5 bills were more reluctant to spend the money and considered other options that they could save it, while the people with two $20 bills were more willing to buy breakfast, as shown by the graph there. Significant results show that in support of hypothesis one, the mean propensity to plan constrained individuals were more likely to consider opportunity costs. So, what is our conclusion? These three studies were all supportive of hypothesis one in showing the sensitivity of consumers when given constraints. While logically it doesn't make much sense, it demonstrates through statistical data that there is a clear trend that exists by consumers. When given constraints, they will highly consider opportunity costs of choosing an alternative. Thank you.